Has your Instagram engagement completely dropped? If you've been noticing fewer likes, fewer comments, and way fewer shares, you're not alone. According to Social Insider, Instagram engagement has dropped 28% year over year, with the average reel seeing an engagement rate of only 0.5%, which means you can post something incredible, yet only reach a tiny fraction of your audience. The problem? This isn't just a bummer. Engagement is what shows Instagram that your content is worth showing to more people. So those comments, saves, and shares don't just look good to see. They actually lead to more reach, which ultimately leads to more followers and sales. So what can you do about it? I'm glad you asked. In this video, I'm breaking down the 5 steps to boost your engagement and get your content in front of the people who need to see it. What most content creators get wrong is that they create posts for themselves instead of focusing on share-worthy posts. Your goal should be to create content that people want to share with a friend, share to their story, or repost, which is one of Instagram's newer features. Instagram is first and foremost a social platform. So when you create content that sparks enough conversation that people actually want to share it, that's a signal to Instagram that this post should be sent out to more people. So how do you actually create this share-worthy content? Tip number 1. Post content that makes people feel seen. Think relatable posts, memes, maybe some niche humor. So for example, when I'm scrolling on Instagram and I find a really funny relationship video, I always send it to my husband. I have a friend who just had a baby, and she's always sharing videos to her story that are super relatable for new moms. Sometimes they're funny, other times they're more emotional or inspirational, but either way, they're relatable enough to her that she feels if she shares it to her story, her followers are going to find it relatable as well. So when you're actually thinking about creating these share-worthy posts, the goal is to make someone say, "Oh my gosh, this is me." Tip number 2, make content that solves a problem. People often share posts that'll be helpful to their friends or to their followers. So I'll give you another example. My mom recently started Pilates, and because I love Pilates, I get a lot of Pilates posts in my feed. And when I see something that's super helpful about the correct form or different moves, I'll send it right to her because I know she's going to find that helpful too. So again, I'm not the one creating this content, but when I see it in my feed, I share it. And another example of this, when I see a post that I know is going to be helpful to my followers, I'll share it to my story. So the other day I saw this post about a new Instagram update. I thought it was super helpful, and most of my followers are content creators and business owners. So I decided to take that post and reshare it onto my story so that more people can see it as well. So when you're trying to come up with these educational posts, you really have to think, what problem can I solve for my followers? What type of education is going to make one of my followers see this post and think, oh, I need to share this with my friend. I need to share this with my dad or my brother, or even I need to share this with my followers because it's that educational that everybody needs to see this. So to recap really quickly, the relatable posts and the educational posts are both incredibly shareable. So do your best to incorporate both types of posts into your content mix for the best results. Because again, the more share-worthy that your content is, the more likely that Instagram will push it out to new people. Alrighty, so now that you've got your content ideas down, the next step is to make sure that people actually watch the video for more than a few seconds. Because sure, the algorithm can send your post to a few thousand people, but if those few thousand people are not watching past the first 3 seconds, it's not going to grow anymore. That's why the first 1 to 3 seconds of your video, aka your hook, is so important. It's the difference between someone scrolling past you or actually stopping, watching, and engaging. There are 3 different types of hooks that I suggest testing out in your reels: visual hooks, audio hooks, and text hooks. This is a visual hook. This is a visual hook. This is a visual hook. As you can probably tell, this first frame of your video makes a huge difference. This visual hook can be an action, like sitting down, like throwing your phone on the couch, like walking your dog, like pointing, even running while filming a reel. Why not? Being in an unusual setting can even be considered a visual hook, like filming outside, or filming at a coffee shop, or even just filming in your car. Or maybe there's a weird prop, if that makes sense for you. A visual hook can also be added in editing, like zooming in or adding quick jump cuts. The key here is to think outside the box and find new ways to stop the scroll. So, for example, instead of starting your video by saying, "Here are 3 tips for your next networking event," you can instead start the video by holding up a Post-it note that says, "Stop networking like this," in huge letters. The movement and the visual just grab attention before anyone even realizes what's going on. Next up is an audio hook. Yep, adding a sound effect can be an audio hook, but if you don't want to add a sound effect, just the words that you say really matter. So when you're planning out your reel script, think to yourself, how can I change up the wording to make it a little more interesting and hook them in within that first 1 to 3 seconds? So for example, I can say, "Here are 5 mistakes that you're making on LinkedIn." Or I can say, "You're doing LinkedIn wrong." That second version will probably stop the scroll a little bit more. Here are a few other examples of spoken hooks that I love.
If your mom didn't teach you how to make Greek food growing up, don't worry. I'm your mommy now.
Is it possible to get an internship without your daddy being the CEO of Apple or growing up in the Bay?
I haven't cleaned these shower doors in months thanks to this.
And last but not least, the text hook. Even if someone watches your reel without sound, you can still draw them in with the text that's on the screen. I usually recommend adding a bold title to the very top of your video, since this is typically where viewers look first. I would keep this title short and very curiosity driven. And just a pro tip, if I'm speaking in this reel, a lot of times the text that I put at the top will be different than the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
This way there's 2 opportunities to really get them to stop. And that leads into my next point, which is that you shouldn't only pick one type of hook. The creators who get the highest engagement are typically layering these hooks in every single video. So imagine this, you film yourself while walking down the street. That's a visual hook. You start with a bold statement that you say. That's your audio hook. And then you add some text on the screen that's related, but not exactly what you just said. That's your text hook. And that's the formula to keep someone watching your video long enough that they actually want to engage. So you have your share-worthy content ideas. You've come up with some amazing hooks. How do you actually get someone to engage on your video? This is where your CTA or your call to action comes into play. Now, not every CTA is going to work for every audience, so I highly suggest doing a lot of experiments with different posts to see what works for you. Of course, you can go with the direct approach of asking your followers at the end of your video to comment something specific or to like the video or share it with a friend or tag someone, anything like that. But personally, I'm always looking for more unique ways to encourage people to engage. And to do this, I always intentionally say things in my posts that I know are gonna start conversations. So if I'm sharing an opinion in a new post, at the end of that video, I'll likely say something along the lines of, "What did you think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments." Or if I'm sharing an educational post, a lot of times I'll say something to the effect of, "What else do you want to know about this topic? Let me know your questions in the comments and I'll answer them." And one of my favorite methods is using DM automation to actually turn my comments into conversations. If you've ever seen someone on Instagram say something along the lines of, "Comment the word link and I'll send you the link to my freebie or this shirt," or whatever they're selling, they're using a tool called Manychat to automate these messages. They're asking their viewer to comment a very specific word, and in exchange, they're starting a conversation by maybe sending them a link, maybe sending them a freebie or some extra tips or whatever it is that they want. This does 2 very helpful things. Number 1, it increases the engagement on your post because now more people are commenting. And number 2, it moves people from just commenting into now actually starting a conversation with you in the DMs. And if you know anything about the Instagram DMs, that is the best place to make your sales. So if you haven't set up one of these automations yet, there's a link in the description to try Manychat for free. And I'll also link in the description a tutorial for setting up your very first comment automation. Oh, and one more tip when you're thinking about your call to action, similar to what I said about the hooks, you can definitely add more than one call to action per post. So let's pretend that you're a fashion creator. Maybe somewhere in the middle of your video, you ask a question like, "Which of these shoes do you like? Do you like the red one or do you like the blue one?" And you keep keep filming your video, and then at the very end, you say something like, save this post for some outfit inspo. By sneaking in these two different call to actions, you can probably expect that you'll get comments with either the red or the blue, and you'll get some saves as well. On Instagram, there are a few different built-in features to help your audience engage with your posts. One of my favorites is the poll sticker. Now, this is available on both posts and stories. Since this video is all about feed posts and how to get engagement with your reels and things like that, I'm not going to dive into stories in this video, but if you do want to hear a little bit more about a story strategy, let me know in the comments and maybe I'll make it our next video. Adding a poll to your reel is super simple. You're just going to post a reel like normal, but before you post it, you're going to tap this little poll button. You're going to ask your question at the top, and then you can add 4 different replies at the bottom. So while you're actually filming your reel, maybe you decide that you want to ask a question, and then your audience can easily answer that question using the different poll options. Every time someone taps on an option, that is more engagement for your post. Now, Instagram has also released a new feature that is pretty much exactly like the poll, except with quizzes. I don't have access to it yet. Maybe you do, but it's the exact same thing. You click quiz, you can quiz your audience, and it shows up. Super cute. Another great way for built-in engagement. There's another pretty new feature that I really like called Link a Reel. Basically, you can link an existing reel to your new reel, which would hopefully encourage people to watch more of your videos. So similar to how you added the poll, right before you post your reel, you're going to tap Link a Reel, and this will allow you to select any reel that you've already previously posted. So you just select it, you can give your reel a little title, and then you just tap OK. So now whenever they click on this linked reel, they're brought to a new reel of yours, which again gives you more engagement. Another strategy that, in my opinion, not enough creators are using on Instagram is the pinned comment strategy. This is where you comment something strategic on your own post and then you pin it. So you go in your comment section and maybe you write a question or you share some extra tips or something like that, and then you pin it to the very top of the comment section. This comment is going to be the very first one that people see. So if it's a question, they very well might answer it. Or if you're sharing extra tips or something like that, they might like your comment, they may comment back. All of this is more engagement. You can also choose to do this with someone else's comment. So if someone else leaves a very in-depth comment, you can pin their comment, and that'll often lead to other people replying to it, other people liking it, all the same stuff. Keep in mind that people might agree with the comment, people might disagree with the comment, whatever happens, it is all engagement. And one last built-in feature that I want to highlight is the reply to comment with a reel feature. This is very popular on TikTok, but not as popular on Instagram yet. I think it's slowly getting more popular. I don't know, I use it all the time, but I just noticed that a lot of people don't. This is basically where you respond to someone's comment with a video reply, and then the two videos kind of get attached to each other. So if you go to the comment section of one of your reels, select a comment that you want to reply to, then tap reply, click the little camera icon that's sort of towards the bottom there, and you'll be prompted to actually create a video reply. You can record a reel right then and there, or you can select a video from your camera roll. And when you post it, you'll notice that this new reel appears in the comment section of your original reel. So if someone is on the original reel and they go to the comments, they can actually click on this video inside of the comments in order to watch this next video. And you can also see that on this new video, the reply video, there's a sticker with the original comment. And when you click on that sticker, it brings you back to the original video. So this is essentially providing multiple different engagement opportunities. And this is a really good way to just interact with your community. It feels a lot more personal when you see these types of videos. I love this strategy. Also, I would highly suggest that when you create one of these reply videos, go back to the original video and pin this comment to the very top, Because again, this pinned comment is going to be the first one that anyone sees when they go to your comment section. And if they see there's a follow-up video, they will likely click on it. So again, I really, really love this strategy, especially if you have like a very viral video going on. Definitely create one of these reply videos, and it creates this endless chain of like more videos that they can watch of yours, which is always good. So those are 4 of the built-in features that I really love to boost your engagement, but I know they're not as commonly used. So let me know in the comments, did you even know these existed? Have you ever used them? Which one's your favorite? Drop them in the comments below. This last step is probably the most important if you're looking to get engagement long-term, and that is to find additional ways to turn your engagement into conversations. Now, I know we touched on this a little bit previously in this video, but this is super, super important if you're somebody who's looking to monetize your content, whether that's through your business, maybe you're looking to get clients or customers, or if you're someone who wants to monetize through brand deals or affiliates, this strategy is so important. And believe it or not, this is probably the #1 place where creators miss the mark. So they'll be getting likes and comments and shares and whatever, but they don't actually follow up with these people. And this is such a huge missed opportunity with your followers, especially knowing that the DMs is such a good place to make sales, to make connections, to build trust, all that stuff. So my first tip here is to make sure that you're replying to your comments. I totally understand that it can feel like a lot to reply to every comment sometimes, but trust me when I say that a dedicated reply, a thoughtful reply goes a long way when it comes to building trust. Next, you want to try to move these conversations into the DMs naturally. So if someone asks you a question in your comment section, sure, you can always reply with a reel, you can answer their question in the comment section, but I also suggest bringing them to the DMs and give them a more in-depth reply in your DMs, or even a voice message. I swear it is so impactful when you receive a voice message from a creator that you follow and you can tell that they're like genuinely so helpful and they genuinely care about their audience. That is so cool. So if you can do that, A+ to you. If you're hearing all of this and you're still thinking to yourself, I don't think I have the time to answer all my comments, I totally hear you. Again, this is another place where Manychat can help. Like I mentioned earlier, you can actually set up an automation where whenever someone comments, they automatically get a DM from you. So if someone is clearly showing some interest in a product that you sell within the comment section of one of your posts, you can automatically send them all the information in their DMs. This not only gets them exactly what they're looking for faster, but it also starts the conversation, which is super important. Again, the link to try Manychat for free is in the description, along with that tutorial for how to set up your first comment automation. And finally, just remember to treat your audience exactly like you would treat a person in real life. Your followers are not just numbers, they are real people. So whenever they comment something, give them a thoughtful reply, ask a follow-up question, start a discussion, thank them for putting in their input. The more that you actually build these connections like a real human, the more that your following starts to turn into a community. Remember that the people who are your loyal fans are often the first ones that engage with your content. They may see it first, they may be more likely to share it with people, they might comment more. So please, please, please make sure that you are prioritizing your current community that you're building and not always just striving for new followers. If there's one tip that you can take away from this entire video, it's that one. So please, please do not forget it. Alrighty, that is the 5-step system for boosting engagement on Instagram. Step 1, create share-worthy content. Step 2, hook people fast. Step 3, test different CTAs. Step 4, use those interactive features. And step 5, turn your comments into conversations. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 steps are you most excited to try? Drop it in the comments below and I would love to chat. No matter which one you pick, please make sure to subscribe because trust me when I say that we have a ton more helpful content just like this coming very soon. Alrighty, see you in the next video. Bye.